Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camppatton Family Compound. I'm Gil, and it is time for Friday night on the Homestead. And tonight's topic is plant your food trees now. And how's everybody doing now? Oops, wait a minute, it went the wrong way. There we go. Wrong button down below. How's everybody doing now? Well, let me go over here and say hello to everybody in case I missed anybody. Okay, so we have first one in was Walt Rogers, then Troop 1351, followed by Shady Hill Homestead and Market Chef Tech. All right, Walt said he finally got home and he's listening while he takes care of the livestock. And people reporting that they're not getting ads. I guess that's good. Geeky Gardens in the house. And Lewis, it's the Marshmallow Man, is here, and he gifted 10 30-day memberships. And let me scroll back here, and I can see over. I can't see it on StreamYard, but I can see it over on YouTube here. So those that got the memberships are Living and Learning Life, Don Ray B, Savage Air Guns, Prairie Rider, Josh, Sassy Cat and More, Stringfield Ridge Farm, Duncan 1900 Homestead, Gear Grinding 19, Don and Ayla having fun. All right. So those are the ones that got free 30-day memberships, courtesy of It's the Marshmallow Man. And let's see here. Prepper Girl is in the house. Mother's Garden Club is here. Kaylin Strain's here. Prepper Girl says, Dad finally retired from DHS. Woohoo! Diana 2's in the house. Going to add plum and cherry trees to the yard soon, with Dad's help anyways. All righty, so I know Mark said hi. I haven't seen Tammy. Let's see here. Drop that down in there. And waiting for that to take. There it took. And now I can pin it. So, and the pin message. There we go. So if someone decides I'm going to come up here and they're not going to lose the link. All right. So tonight goes along with a video that I did years ago over on Gray Man Prepping called Prepper, Plant a Garden. And it's the basic plant your food trees now. So interesting thing about this tree here. This tree, I'm trying to remember. This is the one in New Jersey, I believe. There's 40 types of fruit on this one tree. He's grafted 40 different varieties of fruit to this tree. So you got, you got all sorts of different varieties of apricots, different varieties of apples, different varieties of cherries, different varieties of peaches, plums. Yeah. Kaylin, talk to the building manager. We need some shade trees around. You want to mix good shade trees? Fruit trees. See if they'll buy that argument. Especially if you have a courtyard area. All right. So yeah, the gentleman's doing this. You can find the article on 40 types of fruit on one tree on CNN. They did an article on him. He has one in San Jose, California. One, I can't remember the town in New Jersey. He has, I just lost the blank. I think he has one down in Texas somewhere, but he's got like big trees like this around, and his big trees like this around in several states. I think he's got like 8 now, and he's working on more. And he wants to get one tree in every state if possible. going to be tough up there in Alaska, and might be a little tough over in Hawaii. Hawaii does get snow, so he plants it at the proper elevation. He'll get the chill days for the fruit. John's Life just came in. Yeah. Here comes Lewis. Maybe it's trying to load his device. I still see a blank down below. Now I can see him, but it's not showing on the screen here. He's frozen. There he's showing. Wave. He seems to be. There he goes. There he is.
Hey.
Yeah. Fruit trees. Well, actually, let me move to the next slide. Because there are citrus trees, there are fruit trees, apples, pears, and figs, which are different than stone fruit trees, which are different than nut trees. And believe it or not, I got a question for everybody. I didn't know this until I was doing research for it on the different types of citrus trees. Where did a citrus tree originate? It's not where you think. All right. Who can answer where citrus trees originated at? So John's Life has a bunch of blackberries that he leaves alone. Passion flower fruit. Yeah, okay. Let's see if anybody wants to take a wild guess where citrus trees originated from. And no, it's not Southern California or Florida. Started working, and I probably drank a gallon of water already.
I would say citrus trees developed in the South somewhere.
You'd be surprised where citrus trees were first bred and came from. Where everybody traces them back to this country. I'll give you a hint. It's not in the Americas. All right. Mark said Norway. I'm just looking at the map. Almost halfway around the world from there. All right. Kaylin's getting closer. Nope, but closer. I'll give you another hint. It's an island nation. India, nope. New Zealand, farther north than New Zealand. Philippines, getting closer. Everybody's firing shots around it. I'll give you another hint. It's the home of the transistor radio. Not really the home of transistor radio, but where most of them came out of over there. A little too far. There we go. Shady Hill Homestead got it. Japan is where citrus trees came from. And they got like 40 varieties over there. Hey, Tammy Harder's here. So let's varieties of citrus. There are over 1,000 varieties of thousands of citrus varieties, including over 1,000 different citrus fruits. According to Country Life, the blah 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 section of URL has over 1,100 cultivators and species representing a wide range of commercial and historic citrus things. Many of the varieties are hybrids and crossbreeds created over time through cultivation of hybrids. So I'm not going to list out, that many varieties. I'm not going to list them out. All I know is I do love my navel oranges, and the kids like the tangerines, the mandarinian oranges are another hybrid. But if you look up the origins of citrus, it's going to come from Japan, and it'll list a bunch of the different varieties over there. And it was like, holy crap. I started making a list here, and I started going, all right, that's enough. And it was just from Japan. All these, a dozen of them here that I started putting in. It's like, eh. All right. So citrus trees is one that most people think is limited in growth. But if you look at Japan had some pretty harsh winters. And some of the fruit, the citrus fruit over there, grow in some of the harsher, colder temperatures. Some of the citrus fruit trees over there produce green fruit when it's ripe. Not just limes, some oranges that are green when they are ripe. So, but there are ways to grow citrus trees here in the cold northern states of the U.S. It's called a greenhouse. And I can't think of the name. I've shown the video before. The postal worker in Nebraska, retired postal worker, has a couple big, huge Wallapini greenhouses, and he heats the greenhouses from basically has pipes that are buried 8-10 feet deep, all running out all over his property, and it brings the warm air from the soil into the greenhouse in wintertime and brings in the cool air from the ground in the summertime. And he has all sorts of cool trees in there.
I have a lemon tree, and I in every winter.
Yeah. I plan to if I get some of the lemon and orange trees to grow here, put in the IBC totes so I can wheel them into the shop and wrap them with some insulating cloth and stuff, and put a couple of non-LED incandescent Christmas tree lights down it to keep them from freezing. So long as you can keep the U.S. citrus trees from freezing, if it's 32 degrees, you got a problem. If it's 33 or 34 degrees, they can make it. So if I have it out in the shop there, I should be able to keep under a little tarp tent thing with insulating material. It should do good. But if there's those farther south in it's in the United States here, yeah, you can grow some good citrus trees. Now another variety. Okay, Savage Air rifles. Woohoo! Savage Air rifles. That'd be the gentleman below me here, Lewis of It's the Marshmallow Man channel. Yeah. Checked off's in the house. What does he say? He goes, excited for fruit trees. No hard frost for us. Cool. All right. All right. So common varieties of fruit trees: apples, apricots, avocados, peaches. Yeah, pears are still on here. Plums, figs, nectarines, and cherries. I forgot a bunch of others. Anyways, cherry trees and stuff. So you got a bunch of ones here. Now the figs, the pears, the apricots are not stone fruit. The apricots, apples. The stone fruit are apricots, avocados, peaches, plums, nectarines, cherries. Anything with a single pit is called a stone fruit. Like an apple has a bunch of little seeds in it. The pears have a bunch of little seeds in it. shoot, I'm drawing blank here on the others, but yeah. So these are common varieties of fruit trees. Example: there are over 7,000. They should call it cultivators, but cultivated varieties that of fruit, apple trees in the U.S. Varieties of apricot trees. And this I thought was kind of funny. And this is I just copied and pasted it. There are many varieties of apricot trees with estimates ranging from 150 to hundreds of varieties here. Well, if you have more than 200 and you're able to document it, why do you have 150? Anyways, AI, you gotta love AI. And it's precise numbers are difficult to pinpoint due to regional variations. Well, if it's a regional variation, it's a different variety. Okay. Blenheim, the staff sergeant had, when she grew up on an apricot orchard, they had Blenheim apricots there. We had a couple Blenheim apricots on my parents' place. What I got here, I got what's called the Chinese or Mormon apricot and the Montrose apricot growing out here because they're good for colder weather. They say have lots of choices. Check with your local nursery or extension office to find out, what others on it. And yeah, so but yeah, you want cherries or whatever. It's like, pears. I had a choice of 6 different pears that they had at the local nursery here that are good for zone 3. I'm in zone 5B. If it's good for zone 3, it's good for mine. So I don't have to worry about getting killed by a once every 20 years super frost. Honeyberries can grow in zone 2 to 5. So she has pears, apples, cherries, strawberries, honeyberries, and arona berries. Cool. Persimmons. I believe those are 2 persimmon trees at my mother-in-law's house. There are 2 persimmon trees at my mother-in-law's house. And it looks more like a persimmon bush. Big old massive bush. Squirrels planted mulberry. Squirrels plant a lot of stuff. So I got the 2 apricots, and then I got 2 peach trees, a Red Haven, which is a cold zone 3 or zone 4, and a Alberta. Then I got 2 pears, a Parker and a some or something or other. Then I got the cherry trees are the same. Those are, crap, I'm forgetting the name of it. They're the same. They're self-pollinating. So we got two that are the same. And then I got a Zestar and a Sweet 16 apple trees. And we may be looking in some others. We're just out today around the one area. If I get the one area on the far east side of the property cleared out, we may plant some more fruit trees back over there, where the cows used to like to congregate under the cottonwood trees and poop all over the place back there. That soil should be very good.
Yeah, I've got 3 cherry trees that are the same. I got 2 apple trees, 2 pear trees, 3 peach trees. 2 of them were bare root. One of them I got from seed. Then I got 2 other bare root pear trees, but I transplanted them, but I don't know if they're gonna come back as pear trees or their original fruit. So, and then I got a lemon tree. The one peach tree that I got from seed, and the lemon tree I got from seed, and I call them the pandemic tree, because that's when I planted them.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Which one is it going to work best on? Let me bring this one here up. Try this one here first. See how good it works here. If I don't, yeah, okay. Trying to find.
And I still want to get more fruit trees as well. I want to get a couple more apples, another pear tree, another cherry tree, for sure, another 4 or 5, and then when I got 4 more trees that need to come down. They don't need to come. One does, but when the other 3 come down, I got to get 2 planted after that. Yeah. But they're not for a while. So
yeah, the one of the tree you're not sure it's going to come back. It's going to come back with the what's supposed to be on there. Remember, you can always graft a variety you want. If you can find someone that has a branch and they'll let you take a small cutting or whatever, you can graft that on there to start. And you can graft multiple pears to one pear tree, so you have different varieties growing off of it.
Yeah.
Or apricot trees or peaches. My mom had it 4-in-1. It had an apricot, a peach, an apple. Trying to remember what the third one it might have been a nectarine on one tree. So you had one branch was one. It was in an oak barrel planter she had. So it was she had those on it, and they produced not as good as she liked, but they produced. I think it was my nieces and nephews that kept on stealing the fruit before it was ready. All right, so let's see. This is over on my the lectures on this channel here. Video number 28. Yeah, you got to go back a ways into this. Is in the My Garden playlist. I think it's but that's an orange tree there, and behind my hat is a Fuji, and behind my hat now is a Granny Smith over there. Oh, I missed it. Over my shoulder here, behind my neck here, next to the thing is a apricot tree. It's in a 125-gallon Rubbermaid tub. So I'm walking by the orange tree there, and here is an apricot tree. And yeah, so we got, and things like this apricot tree was supposed to be a dwarf or ultra dwarf, and it wasn't. It got bigger than it was, way bigger than it was supposed to. And the cherry trees are hiding in the background. Can't hardly see them. But yeah, and it took the apricot took 5 years, and we didn't start with a small. We got a decent size, pot that it was in. It took it 5 years to start producing fruit, and another 2 years to really produce fruit.
Yeah, the 2 pear trees I got this year, they came with flowers on them, but I don't know if I'll get pears off of them this year.
Yeah.
But they were I've planted them already. And this is the perfect time for at least here in Canada to be planting them.
So we got a
because then you got all summer for.
Got a mandarin and a tangerine here side by side here, and another big orange tree. And you see it's got plenty of oranges on it. Yeah, you can see the oranges back inside there. But yeah, the this one was also supposed to be a smaller fruit tree, and it's orange tree, and it's sometimes they mark them as like an ultra dwarf or dwarf, and it's not. Right, there's a cherry tree. The peach tree is just overloaded on it. She's got some boards blocking it up, the limbs up, and that was the nectarine there as well. So yeah, so you can, but all the fruit, all the trees we had took several years to start producing fruit. So these were like 2 gallon cans, not the little 1 gallon can ones you get. Most people got. We got the 2 gallon ones, and it still took several years for it to produce. The trees I got for here were either 10 or 12 gallon cans, and they are those fruit trees, except for the apples, are loaded. They've already set fruit loaded them, and my wife was out there plucking off peaches and apricots because I got 3 of them really close together, and you got to get rid of one of them so they can grow right. But yeah, she was kind of like, do we need to take all of them, most of them off, because I planted them last year, but when I planted them, they had fruit on them. So we're going to see if, how they do and stuff. If it looks like I'm going to need to thin them, I'll thin them. But the fact that I got fruit in 1 year, a lot of fruit in 1 year. Of course, then I also put a lot of fertilizer into the soil around it, so the roots should be growing, and should be this is an anomaly for most trees, unless you get the bigger the pot means it's and it's the bigger the tree trunk is around, the more fruit it's going to be able to produce sooner. And if you get those ones that I haven't seen them in years, they were like a 3-foot square box that was tapered down and stood about 2.5 feet tall. And those things, you used to be able to buy those, and they were producing, like up above me here, a lot of apples or a lot of oranges or a lot of apricots on those.
Yeah, I would try to stay away from the bare root stuff, because they'll take just as long as
or longer
to that's just my recommendation. Is
I agree with you totally on that.
Yeah, because I got 2 apple trees when I got them. This is like 3 or 4 years ago now, and they came with apples and on them, and they grew. I think the following year I might have gotten apples on them, and then they skipped a year, and this year they got flower on them again. So hopefully,
you're again going Mr. Roboto on us, Lewis. The bare root trees I got last year, they had butchered the roots so bad. They had this little container about this big around, but it was it was about 2 feet long. And when I pulled it out, I slid the stuff out to plant it, 2/3 of it fell off because there was no roots in it. And they'd cut the roots back so bad that, so far this year, none of them have budded out. The one started to throw off some suckers off when it was in the house. So I brought them in so they wouldn't totally freeze hard in the containers. I put them in bigger containers. I don't want to put them in the ground because I knew they weren't going to survive in the ground. So I put it in containers, brought them in, and the ones started to put off some suckers. And I was reading the system, they start putting off suckers. Just go ahead and clip the suckers off, so it puts more into the regular part of it and buds out at there. Never budded out, and none of them have budded out. And so online orchards.com, ain't buying from there again. And Stark Brothers definitely ain't buying from there again. I mean, I got the one tree. It was bad. Yeah. My wife noticed that on her apple trees. Every year it's more, and every now and then she's just got to cut it back a lot. And if she has the chance, she's got to go through it and thin it a lot. Otherwise, she winds up with branches breaking, or when she's got 2x4s propped up, holding it up to keep it from breaking. Oh, getting ads. I have not seen ads on my YouTube for Grayman or Camppatton. So I'm monitoring on both, and I haven't seen any ads pop up anywhere tonight. Be interesting to see how.
Yeah, you got to be kind of careful when you're talking. You have to be kind of careful when there's a certain way when you're going to cut the branches. I think it's the ones that go up and down that you want to cut, not the ones that go out like across.
Well, actually, all right. So on the Fuji and the Granny Smith, since those were my wife's trees, she wanted to do it the way that they told her to do it, which was cutting the ones that go out off and keeping the more vertical ones, but pushing them out so it comes up. And so basically, instead of going like this, it goes like this on it. So it pushes it out and then it goes up. But I've seen, nursery guys on the YouTube videos put out by nurseries say contradicting things. So, you got to read up on it on your own and do a little experimenting. If you have two trees exactly the same varieties, and you feel like, all right, I'm going to do this one the way this guy said it, and I'm going to do this one the way the other guy said it. Do a video on it and you say, hey, I think this one turned out better, or that one turned out better. But yeah, it's as far as pruning the trees and trying to shape it and stuff, a lot of them are, I've just found a lot of them are contradicting each other. Now, the only ones that don't contradict each other are the ones that are trying to train the tree to grow along a fence and to grow like a grapevine would, where it's got the things going across it. So basically, your branches come up and they all go sideways. Group 2, cool. And I need to leave it till next year. Yeah. So it's but the thing is, so if you're thinking about, I want fruit in a year or two, you should have planted trees already. Unless you want to spend more and get the bigger pots with the more root growth in them, so that they're able to support the fruit. And the bigger the pot is, and it's got more roots in there trying to get out and stuff, you break up the outside just a little bit and free the roots up a little bit, it will grow faster because the roots are able to get out there quicker, and it already has a good solid root ball that's going good. And it's like I said, the bigger the pot or a pot container, whatever you want to call it, you're going to pay more because you're going to get a tree producing sooner. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, one of the things to make sure whatever you're getting is for your zone, unless you're planning on moving it indoors. Look, lost Lewis. Unless you he's trying to come back here. Unless you're moving it areas, unless you're going to move it indoors, like Howie does. Howie keeps a lemon tree indoors, near some windows. And I'm not sure if he has any grow lights he keeps on it or not, but he has a lemon tree producing lemons indoors. So I'm not sure what size. I've never been able to find out, figure out what size container he has. You kind of like, it's a container. I bet it's probably at least a 25-gallon container. Kaylin says no ads for her on my live stream. Cool. And Diana 2 is getting more ads. I don't know. I don't know about the platform. So, main thing is, the sooner you plant trees, the sooner you're going to get fruit from them. The sooner they're going to get bigger. And depending how you train the fruit trees, how you trim them and stuff, depends how what sort of I'm looking for. What sort of ornamental shade tree it looks like when it's actually producing fruit. The apricot trees we had when I was growing up in the single digits, they came up. I don't know. Probably, I'm trying to compare back my size now to what I was a little kid. So I'm thinking probably about 18 inches up, and it had big old limbs splitting off. They had like 3 limbs splitting off, and then another trunk limb going up and branching out more on the 2 apricots. The apple tree had one coming off low, about 2 feet off the ground. And then the main trunk went up about, probably about 5 feet before the branches started coming off. The rest of the branches started coming off on it. And the reason I remember that one is because it had one that was out down low, so we could climb up on that branch and work our feet up on it, hands on the main trunk, get up enough where we could grab the upper branches to climb in it. And then we'd listen to our uncle when he came over to prune the trees. Get those trees. I spent a lot of work pruning them. Thank you. You make it fun to climb and easy to get apples and apricots. Then you go because we said thank you. He wouldn't yell at us anymore, but he's got to grumble. I had a little patio lemon. Okay, yeah, it's possible. It could have been. I mean, it was in. Did you plant it into that pot, or did it come in that size pot? Yeah, bought it at Home Depot. My mom had a. It was a cut in half 55-gallon barrel, so that was a 7.5-gallon pot. Froze a pot that she had a fig tree in, and that fig tree was in that pot. I remember when we got it. Probably 64, 65 is when she got it. It moved from Northern California down to Southern California, Sunland, Tahunga. Then it moved to Sun Valley, California, which is about 25 miles away. Then it moved to the north rim of the Grand Canyon town called Fredonia, and we had to build a straw bale greenhouse for the winter to keep a lot of our Southern California plants warm and growing, and it survived that. And we were there for a couple of years, so we moved back to Northern California, and she never would let us, we had on an acre and a quarter. She didn't want to plant it in the ground. She kept it on her back porch. So long after, several years after my dad died, and then she moved down to Southern California to be with my sister for a while, so several years, down by Aviso, I forget, down there south of LA. And I think she left it with my sister when she came back up north to stay with Chris and I. Howie's in the house. Food forest permaculture. Howie, that lemon tree you have indoors, what size pot is that in? See if he answers me. He may go, shh, it's a secret. CB is in the house. Hugo Homestead. Let's see. So in Southern Tahunga, there was a screen porch that the fig tree was kept on. In Sun Valley, there was a covered porch that was kept in. In Fredonia, Arizona, during the summertime, it was out full sun, and the wintertime was stuffed in the bales of hay with plastic over the top and stuff, so it gets some sunlight. Back in Northern California, for the first year and a half, it was semi in the shade of the redwood tree, and then when they got the big Fleetwood mobile home and built the deck on the back, it sat on the covered deck on the back. 25-gallon pot. Yes, I guessed it right, folks. 25-gallon pot. All right. To get a tree from an early fall, to get a seeding without help, now and then spring another seeding. No need to look for after that summer. Cool. All right. My mom also had a navel orange tree in a 27.5-gallon pot, half 55-gallon barrel cut in half. She got it when we were living in Sun Valley, a small, and it survived for Arizona, came back to Northern California, went down to Southern California, down to my sister's, came back when she came back to us. It had absolutely fabulous fruit on it, but it only had like 10 or 12 oranges a year. And it was, so you got a pot about, hang on. You had a pot about this tall or so that it was in, and I could reach up and I could touch over the top of it. Well, I'm trying to remember when we put it in the ground. I'm not sure it was after my mom passed away or just, she said put it in the ground while she was there. I think it was after my mom passed away. 2006, I think it was, maybe 2007. First year it was in the ground, it grew a little bit. The next year, Holy moly, that thing took off. That thing took off like a rocket. And it, I mean, we were getting like 30, 40 oranges on it. And it got so, in a couple of years, it was so big. We were putting up 8-foot poles to put sheets on over it because we were getting some cold, some frosts and stuff. We did not want that one to die of frost. All right. So what type of lemon does, what the fertilizer does lemon needs? 697. That's your standard NKP, I think it's called, or AP, and nitrogen, whatever. Yeah. The standard labeling on fertilizers. Yeah. NPK, yes. Yeah. Your standard things in your packet. So yeah. All right. So, my thing I would like to do with some of the peaches and the apricots and the pears out here is to try to keep them up so you're about 4 feet, about 3 feet, 4 feet off the ground before you letting the branches spread out. So it's easier to walk around underneath, and we can plant stuff down around them and stuff, and and turn it into a food forest a little bit with the stuff growing in the shaded plants growing underneath the trees and stuff. So yeah, it was planting lemon seeds. Jack Geeky Garden sent me some. I've tried a couple of them. I still got a couple of them left in the fridge here, and in the package. I'm going to next spring. I'm going to try getting the I can't even remember the name of the lemon. Oh man, I'm going to try to get those. It's supposed to be big lemons. Okay, I'm going to try to get that to sprout up next spring. When I get, because right now, so Staff Sergeant showed up on Saturday. We've been working our butts off. No, not Ponderosa. There it is. Yes, Ponderosa. Yes. And we've been just going nonstop, and we are burnt out. And we got so much more to do here because it's, a couple of days before, it was raining. It rained the day she showed up. I mean, it was raining. And then all of a sudden it stopped raining. Sun, and it started warming up. And yeah, it's been a heck of a, if the fields are starting to dry out. It's still 70 degrees here at 7 o'clock at night. Tomorrow's going to be it was the high today was supposed to be 70, and it's 70 degrees right now at 7 o'clock. So it was hotter 4 hours ago than 70 degrees. So, and tomorrow's supposed to be 72. I expect it to be more like 76 tomorrow. Sunday's supposed to be 76. I expect it to be more closer to 80. But yeah. So all right. Update. Howie has changed to a 9-12-8, Lewis. So he's increased on the first two and only up one number on the last one, balancing your stuff. Ugh. Yeah, considering the weekend before we had 84 and 80. So this Saturday and Sunday is supposed to be Saturday is supposed to be 72, 76 Sunday. Monday is supposed to be 79 with clouds coming in later on. And Monday is supposed to be 76 with mostly sunny with slight chance of thunderstorms. But anyway, so we're trying to get a lot of work done here on it. And we started working on the irrigation for the fruit trees. I had that white plastic stuff I put out that were from the tops of the IBC totes. And on it to help keep the weeds down and trap water, around it. Well, now that I got all the wood chips from the trees that were taken down in the summer last year, I put a bunch of them around it. It's like, okay, we're going to take these off. We're going to start piling the chips up and, keep them back in the trunk a little bit, but pile it up so it will, work a little bit better without us having to trip over stuff and worrying about it. So, yeah. But since we're saving those, because if we put the citrus trees on the back on the west fence here, after we get that area cleaned up back there, we'll put those back there because we're not going to put down a bunch of wood chips back there. But we want to keep the weeds away from the base of the citrus trees and stuff. So we'll put those back there for a couple of years, and we'll take them off and let the trees start getting big when the trees start getting bigger and stuff. My daughter planted some elderberries several years ago, and her husband was saying he was going to take care of the watering, and guess what? He didn't water the elderberries. '60s and '70s till May 30th, then 80 degrees on May 31st. Yeah. Planted elderberries last year in my lawn in a line to make a bush fence. Cool. And Howie's firing out more information for you guys. I believe that's 6% calcium, 4% magnesium, and 7.5% sulfur. Am I getting that right, Howie? I know I need to supposed to put some sulfur out in the garden here to help lower the pH from the alkali back towards neutral. Oh, my daughter's apple tree, that was the last surviving apple tree out in the far field, came back from the goat attack. When the goats got out of there, the lady brought goats over to eat down a bunch of the stuff, the brush and everything, and the wind blew real hard and blew her little electric fence down. And the goats out and they stripped most of it off the tree, but this year the tree's looking pretty good. I gotta check to see if the son-in-law, I don't want to call him son, if her current spouse has been getting out there and watering it. Ad for pressure treated pine. No, we don't want pressure treated pine. We were talking about live trees, we're talking about live trees, not dead trees. Congratulations, Tammy. Woohoo! Excellent. All right, Howie's going live tomorrow morning. Oh, yeah, it's that time where I got to talk about that. So Howie's going live tomorrow morning. Howie, what time about? And for me, get it up here. I'm not going to be, unless things change, I'm not going to be doing the live with Shadow Scout because we got too much stuff to do around here. I will be doing the evening live for the events explored on Survival Saturday. That is after the polar ice caps melt. What are your plans? Monday on Veterans Day. When I say not Veterans Day, Memorial Day. Well, they both honor veterans, okay? Memorial Day, talked with Tammy and Mark. We're not going to go do a live stream, but I may, I'm going to be doing a bunch of video around here tomorrow and Sunday, and I'm going to put it together, and I'll probably just do a premiere video on Monday evening. Tuesday, for Tactical Tuesday, how hurricane season affects everyone, everywhere. And hang on, okay, my daughter's texting me here. I got to give her an affirmative yes on that. She wants to borrow the truck to go to the dump in the morning. All right. So that is so who's talking about hurricanes and how they affect everyone everywhere. Thursday is the midnight ride at 10 p.m. Eastern. And next Friday here is walk behind garden tools. We're going to talk about what sort of what are the walk behind garden tools you can use in your garden. And there's more than you think. All right. And all right, so everyone, yeah, stay safe. Don't do anything foolish. Plant a garden. Plant a food forest with an orchard of food trees. And Glenn shows up how to garden just as I'm signing off. So, yeah, plant the trees you want in a couple of years. Plant them now. If you want food producing trees sooner, you got to get bigger pots and you're going to have to pay for it. All right, everyone, take care, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for Survival Saturday. Take care.